And I have with me in the studio from the University of Lagos, Dr. Dane Kere, as well as the CEO of CKN News, Chris Kehinde-Nwandu. Gentlemen, it's nice to see you both in the studio.
It's nice to be here.
Very good.
It's a pleasure to be
All right,
here.
let's begin with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. How 28 travelers were abducted along Ikere-Ekiti Akure Road. We're studying the situation. Ekiti governor or Ekiti government is saying that ill-fated bus belongs to our member. The NURTW Ekiti is also revealing that criminals building camps in Edo forests. Oba Benin is stating this. And 20 killed as Boko Haram gunmen invade Borno village. Sad one there. You can find all that on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Let's go now to The Nation. Buhari's cabinet security screens state nominees. A rally for president in Abuja and tight security for Daura Kyari, others after protests. You find all that on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Now let's go to Daily Trust. Boko Haram kills 20 farmers in Borno, attacks Yobe local government. Boko Haram kills 20 farmers in Borno State and attacks Yobe local government. All right, you find that on the front page of the Daily Trust. Troubling, really very troubling. Let's go now to Blueprint. Blueprint is our next paper now. As Southwest governors meet on security, kidnappers abduct 10 passengers on Akure Highway. Puff Ada nabs 13 suspects in Kebbi. Troops raid bandits in Zamfara, Katsina, others. A taxi driver in court for allegedly kidnapping 10 kids. You find all that on the front page of the Blueprint. Okay, let's go now to the Daily Sun. Daily Sun is revealing the NIHSA raises the alarm. 30 states under threats of flood. 30 states under threat of flood as the rains set in. And it's been raining almost every day now in Lagos and parts of the south. All right, that's all on the Daily Sun. Let's move now to the Nigerian News Direct. News Direct says 3.4 billion naira pension contribution not remitted into states' employees, RSAs, as PENCOM is revealing this revelation. Okay. Now from there we'll go to the Nigerian Tribune. Tribune says 30 states to experience severe flooding from July. As a report is saying that the flooding will be helped by inflow of water from the boundary in River Niger and River Benue. You find all that on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. The Guardian is the last paper we'll look at this morning. Outrage trails Buhari's plan to settle Fulani herdsmen. Benue, Edo, Delta, Igbo stakeholders caution against move. And only fairness, equity can guarantee peace in Nigeria. You find all that on the front page of The Guardian. All right, gentlemen, there are several security issues here that I'd like us to talk about, from Ondo State to Borno State and to the summit by the state governors of the Southwest. And yeah, those are some of the issues around security. Now, first of all, there was a story on about 10 persons who were kidnapped in Ondo State, and the commissioner of police was on tape saying it was only one person that was kidnapped. But the issue there is governors of the Southwest have met. They had a security summit recently, and they were trying to put things together towards security. I wonder how this, the irony of the fact that the security meeting is holding and then kidnapping is also taking place. CK, let me start with you on this.
It's a big challenge. It's getting worse and worse by the day because the challenge seems to be overwhelming our security forces, because it now cuts across all parts of the country. Unlike what we had in the past, where most of this banditry and the issue of terrorism were just limited to the northeast. Now there is no section, there is no state, and there is no geopolitical zone that is not involved. So,
but Operation Puff Ada is also recording a lot of arrests here and there.
Yes, I agreed. But even at that, it seems that these guys have had a way of now segmenting themselves and distributing themselves within the houses. Had basically three issues that relates with for me, between the Kaduna, Abuja, as the expressway, as and rest of that. That's where most of the recordings are. But in other parts, it's a big problem. The police on ground are getting overwhelmed. Our security forces are getting overwhelmed, which is why practically every part of the country, all the sessions and governors met in Southwest and said, this, we have to tackle this. The issue of state policing is just nice. We have to do this. Why that is happening, Boko Haram is no longer before, just pre-2015, before the APC government came in. It was mostly Boko Haram issues. But now banditry has come in, Boko Haram is involved, Fulani herdsmen are doing their own.
No, herdsmen.
So
just
okay,
herdsmen.
Okay, let me leave it. Okay, the herdsmen,
Herdsmen.
which herdsmen are doing their own. And that brings a lot of this. So our security apparatus are overwhelmed, as I said before. The various security chiefs can no longer sleep, or shouldn't be sleeping. Let me not say they cannot sleep. They shouldn't be sleeping, because even a governor was almost kidnapped.
I'm
you
sure
forgot
they were, but I'm sure they're also not sleeping, actually.
That's why I said they shouldn't sleep, because it's getting.
I know they're not sleeping.
It's getting worrisome.
Dr. Kerry, the point there is, when it comes to security agencies being overwhelmed, we've always heard that, you know, that cliche. Let me use it that way. The security apparatus are overwhelmed. The military, the DSS, the police, and all of those put together. But the governors' meeting, how much of a game changer would that be for governors in regions to meet?
Well, thank you. The governors are very influential. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, they're in charge of their various states. They perhaps might not be in charge of the security, even though there is that tag as the chief security officer in theory, you know. But there are so many things they can do. We'll be talking about this issue of policing. You know, I do know that a lot of governors fund the police to a large extent.
Yes.
Now, we are now saying that let's even domesticate it. Let the states operate.
Let's take the burden off the federal government.
Yes, so if they push that case, you know, I feel they have the capacity to actually push it through. Because if they are committed to ensuring that that particular, you know, project is brought on board and perfected, they have what it takes. So that might just be one of the issues. And again, the president, who is the chief security officer of the land, will know by this that every part of the country is fully challenged. He has to be sensitive to that. You know, but again, do we have at the moment with this current situation, this idea of, you know, some parts say, no, we are not right for this and all of that. As it is today, do we have what it takes to curtail crime in the state? Banditry, kidnapping, Boko Haram, terrorism, and all manner of things, you know. And it doesn't just end there. Even cultism is now, you know,
it's adding to the mix.
Yes, on the rise.
Yeah,
you hear of court killings and all, you know. So all manner of, you know, crimes are just you know, continuing in the states. Different strategies, and it seems we are not prepared for this in terms of the training of, you know, and again, we don't even have the personnel. How many officials, policemen and officers do we have that can actually take care of this? As we speak, every senator is guided, every honorable member is guided, chairmen have their own, thereby depleting, and it's not just one, you know, so you don't even have police to take care of the populace. So at the end of the day, when the populace are now having this kind of attacks, you will find some of them who will be inspired by the activities of these, you know, bandits. So, okay, if that is the way to go, let's even, you know, join this business. And again, it's even profitable. As it is, because somebody is telling you he's making 200 million in 6 months, when I know from beginning to the end, if I don't spend a couple, I won't get 200 million as my salary from the beginning till I retire. So why? I mean,
that's just being modest anyway, Dr. Kerry. Dr. Kerry, that is being modest. That is very, very just being modest. I know you're a very humble man, sir. Anyway, but it's actually one of the realities of the challenges that we face. Now, if you see the headline on Daily Trust that says that Boko Haram kills 20 farmers in Borno, attacks Yobe local government, it gives you another shade of the threats that we are facing.
Yes, economically, yes, it does. Because Even in Benue, I was just reading this morning that there was an attack somewhere in Benue and people were killed. It's not just the insecurity aspect, because we're also having the issue of economic challenges, especially when it comes to food. Before you know it, the prices of food will start rising. Every Nigerian will start feeling the heat and the rest of them. That in itself brings a burden on the government itself, because when people can't find food to eat and the rest of them, that in itself is an insecurity. It's an insecurity challenge to the government, yes, because that will lead people to crime and all sorts of things. So
even the flooding that they are talking about, you know what flood can do to, you know,
Nigeria,
crops and the rest of it.
I think
It's
Nigeria
a
needs a lot
total
of prayers right
we
now.
need prayers. We need
No,
prayers.
this is not the time for prayer. This is the time to actually
pray
act.
and work.
Yeah,
Pray
we
and
need to work. We've been
Has to
praying.
work and
How 28 travelers were abducted along Ikere-Ekiti, Akure Road. We are starting the situation. Ekiti government, ill-fated past belongs to our member, National Union of Road Transport Workers, Ekiti branch, responding there. Criminals building camps in Edo Forest, Oba of Benin. 20 killed as Boko Haram gunmen invade Borno village. We'll move to the front page of the Nation newspapers. Buhari's cabinet security screens states nominees. Rally for president in Abuja, tight security for Daura, carry others after protests. I will move to the front page of the Daily Trust. Boko Haram kills 20 farmers in Borno, attacks Yobe local government. And on the front page of the Blueprint, as Southwest governors meet on security, kidnappers abduct 10 passengers on Akure Highway. Prof Aden nabbed 13 suspects in Kebbi. Troops raid bandits in Zamfara, Katsina, others. Taxi driver in court for allegedly kidnapping 10 kids. To the front page of the Daily Sun, 30 states under threat of flood. And IHSA raises that alarm. We'll be looking at that shortly. And to the Nigerian News Director, 3.4 billion naira pension contribution not remitted into state employees, RSAs, PENCOM. Well, finally, on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, 30 states to experience severe flooding from July report. The flooding will be helped by inflow of water from Trans boundary in River Niger and River Benue. And finally, on the front page of The Guardian, outreach trails Buhari's plan to settle Fulani herdsmen. Benue, Edo, Delta, Igbo stakeholders caution against move. Only fairness, equity can guarantee peace in Nigeria. All right, gentlemen, I'd like for us to look at the fact that there is a report saying that 30 states are to experience severe flooding from July. In 2012, we had a similar situation where 30 states also experienced flooding, and it was said to have been the worst, according to reports, where about hundreds of people lost their lives and millions also were displaced as a result of that. Now, again, this stress. And over the years, we've had issues with flooding. You were sharing your experience behind the scene or behind the cameras earlier on. But how much of effort, rather, have we put, seeing that this has continued occurring over the years when it comes to dealing with issues of flooding? I'll start with you, Dr. Kerry.
Thank you. Well, that 2012 was a sad experience, and it's not something you wish that should repeat, itself. But then, there are areas that are prone to flood. That one is known. And the way we operate, it will not stop us from, at least, inhabiting such places. However, there's usually a source, because this is not rainwater that is coming to flood the place.
It contributes as well.
It contributes, but much of it actually has to do with the overflow of the rivers, River Niger, Benue, and the rest of it. And you keep getting warnings from NIMET all the time, those bodies that are concerned all the time. However, the government has not really done much, in trying to combat some of it, because sometimes you find out that it could be a function of the rivers that are filled with silt and all the rest. And what do? You need to dredge them so that they could accommodate more water. When that is not done, obviously the little that will come, it will overflow. So along the line, you begin to have this challenge, and it affects the economy, because farms are flooded, and houses are destroyed, businesses are affected, and so many things. So at the end of the day, you discover that the losses you are going to incur for your own negligence and perhaps not planning well will be more than whatever you are going to get when you just downplay it. So I expect that now that the warning has come, is those who reside in this area, all of them cannot relocate. But those that are in critical areas, I expect that by now they should be planning, they should be having option B. But the government equally need to, to sit up on this.
Chris, is this an issue of we downplaying it, or what really would it take for us to stand up to this challenge?
Yes, I've always, I'm one of those that always say that we are very lucky in this part of the world, especially Nigeria, because probably God has seen us and knowing the kind of people we are, he decided to give us the one that we can be able to handle, which is the issue of corruption and bad leadership.
Really?
Bad leadership, yes.
He made us actually.
Yes, because if we are facing what some of other countries are facing in terms of climate change and disasters and the rest of them, we can be rest assured that with time, probably half of will be wiped out of the face of the earth. While other countries are trying to find solutions to some of this problem, our people sit back. It's happening in 20, it's a year, it's not even, it wasn't, it only got worse 2012. I was also, I was a victim in that period because I was coming from Abuja and for 2 days we couldn't cross Lokoja then, that day. So, but my problem is that, why is this that our government cannot find a lasting solution to this problem?
Can there be a lasting solution?
Yes, we can mediate it. Yes, you might find, it might not be total, but it is about symbiotic things, not only the government, even individuals. Because go around, just go to Lagos and see how people are filling up the gutters. Do you understand what I'm saying? Go to just back here, go to just by the Third Mainland Bridge and see every day that they are filling up and dredging and what's it, and trying to sand field. Those things have repercussion. We knew the problem we had at Bar Beach for years until we were able to curtail that. So, and these are predictions, just like Dr. Kere said, that the various agencies of government have been telling, oh, this will happen in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, and the rest of it. Until we now find people being carried away and being killed and the rest of it. We see government agencies running around and governors going around. I think we can still find at least some level of so-called. It's just for us to be able to map out these areas where these things are very, very potentially will be very prone. We are prone to this thing, and trying to find solutions to
but
better.
The ecological fund is meant to address some of these things.
The governors have been stealing the ecological funds. You've forgotten
now
that.
This is a weighty allegation, Chris.
It is. It's in the page without having to be hearing, having to be reading it. We are journalists. We know what is happening. Most of those ecological funds, governors take it just like the security votes. They don't account for them. There have been instances where governors have been, EFCC and the rest of them have been running after ex-governors for not being able to account for them. Those are the problem we have. Is it only ecological funds? Want us to start mentioning the other ones?
Not yet.
Good. But I just think that we have to be able to take, especially those within the prone areas, as quickly as possible. We should be
looking
moved.
at the spillover effect.
We should be able to move them quickly now.
It's almost, it's the whole country,
almost,
30 states out of 36.
It's the whole country.
It's the whole country.
It's just the whole country.
I mean, what is that?
How many states, which other states are left? This state is 36 states.
The 36
You forget
states.
Yes. So it is a big problem, and I think by now the government, if it's other countries like the US and the rest of them, they would have declared emergency now.
Absolutely.
Quickly. They would have declared a state of emergency in all these areas and be able to start mapping out. And in those places, that's where they use the reserves. We don't have reserves. We don't even have reserves here to be able to help out.
How 28 travelers were abducted along Ikere-Ekiti Akure Road. We are studying the situation. Ekiti government is saying that our ill-fated bus belongs to our member, NURTW Ekiti, and criminals building camps in Edo Forest above Benin is revealing that. And 20 killed as Boko Haram gunmen invade Borno village. You find that on the front page of the Vanguard. Now let's go to The Nation. The Nation newspaper says, Buhari's cabinet, security screen states nominees. Rally for president in Abuja and tight security for Daura carry others after protests. All right, security has been screening nominees. I guess we'll be talking about that shortly. Now, the next one now is Daily Trust. Let's look at what the Daily Trust is saying. Boko Haram kills 20 farmers in Borno, attacks Yobe local government. And that's what Daily Trust is saying. Boko Haram kills 20 farmers in Borno, attacks Yobe local government. Okay, you find all that on the front page of the Daily Trust. Really troubling one there. Moving on to Blueprint. Blueprint is the next one now. As Southwest governors meet on security, kidnappers abduct 10 passengers on Akure Highway. Puff Adder nabs 13 suspects in Kebbi. Troops raid bandits in Zamfara. Katsina others. And taxi driver in court for allegedly kidnapping 10 kids. All that on the Blueprint. The Daily Sun is where we go next. NIHSA raises the alarm. 30 states under threat of flood. 30 states under threat of flood in 2019 as the rains set in proper across the country. All right, let's move from there now to News Direct. Nigeria News Direct is the next point of call now. 3.4 billion naira pension contribution not remitted into states' employees' RSAs, as PENCOM is revealing that bombshell. Okay. From there, let's go to the Nigerian Tribune. 30 states to experience severe flooding from July. That's a report revealing that the flooding will be helped by inflow of water from the trans-boundary in River Niger and River Benue. Oh, that's a revelation there. 30 states is almost as good as the entire country. All right, let's move from there to The Guardian. The Guardian says, outrage trails Buhari's plan to settle Fulani herdsmen. And Benue, Edo, Delta, Igbo stakeholders caution against move. And only fairness, equity can guarantee peace in Nigeria. You can find all that on the front page of The Guardian. Okay, gentlemen, I'd like also to talk about the story on The Nation newspaper. Buhari's cabinet security screens states nominees. And we know that certainly in 2015, Nigerians haven't forgotten that it took about not less than 6 months for the president to come up with the cabinet. This time around, the move is quicker comparative to 2015, but others still
maybe 3 months this time.
Well, the security agencies have to do their job of proper screening. Yeah. But the point there is, a lot of people have said that at the point where you win the election, before the inauguration, you should know who, and then your list should have been composed at that time, and then submit for whatever necessary thing you need to submit, as the case may be. Yeah. CKN.
Yes, definitely. Just as you are going to, it's like going to war. You already have your arsenals and the rest of them. All you need to do, getting there, is deploying your arsenals, and where they're necessary, you make changes where necessary. Well, I don't know. At times, when I hear this screening, I wonder what it takes to screen. Even those of us going to university,
background check.
But let's even say, but even after, with all the background checks and the rest of them, still realize that at the end of it all, some of these ministers still have. Yeah,
we see.
Remember what happened to the minister of Finance and the rest of them. So I always ask, so what were they doing? What did they screen? I think it's just political. I think the president needs to hit the ground running. He has the ministers. After the security screening, they are still going to go to the Senate for confirmation and the rest. Then before the only problem and challenge I've always had with our way of screening and allocating portfolios is what happens at the Senate. Okay. The president just sends names, and people are just screened and based on, oh, Mike, you work with TVC, okay. And meanwhile, it would have been better that our portfolios are attached to those names.
But there is no law saying that. No, so if there are no specifications, then they have not violated any standing rule.
No, it's not a violation.
Okay.
But it will be much easier and better when the senators are asking questions. If you are supposed to, you have been assigned that of education, you'll be asked, what are you going to do in the education sector in the next 2 years?
Dr. Kerry, the point there is we have often heard the concept of fixing round pegs in round holes, or square or triangular, whichever one. Exactly. At least let there be a correlation between the peg and the hole.
Exactly.
Now, in that, seeing it from what CKN is saying as to if you're going to be for Minister of Education, for instance, let us drill you based on education. If you're going to be for agriculture, let's drill you. But others feel that the post or the office of the minister is a coordinator. That as far as you can coordinate, you can run any ministry.
What I do not subscribe to that idea.
Okay.
You know, because you could coordinate, but there are areas that you'll be more familiar with that you coordinate better. So it would have been better, even if it is not the law. At least let common sense teach us that we should do something, so that you send the name with offices attached. That this is the area I want you to function. You cannot tell me that you are collecting these names, sending them for screening and the rest, and yet you don't have an idea of where you want to put them. So if you already have that idea, why not really reveal it, so that the screening will be around that, you know, particular area you want him to function. The questions will be more appropriate and more direct, so that your reactions
would that
will
not generate a lot of controversy, especially when you hear the issue of some persons manning juicy, when they say juicy ministries, and then the distribution as to, okay, it is this region that has this juicy ministry, the other region is deprived of the juicy ministry.
But obviously, some people will hold those so-called juicy ministries, and others will not. So
what is juicy about the service? About service to the nation?
The truth is that it's not about service.
Okay.
It's not about service.
Oh, it's about what?
Because if it's about service, this kind of celebrations, you see, if you are appointed now, if truly you are going to serve and it's all about work, I don't see why people should be celebrating.
In fact, you should envy me.
You see, are you getting me? Now, but people celebrate to the point of even fighting. Our own is not there. You know, if we're going there to clear grass, I'm not sure everybody will be fighting towards that. But it shows that there's something in it. So let it be done in a manner that could actually bring about the best for everybody. So that's the more reason why we need to attach offices to these names. And in any case, this screening we are talking about, I hope that this time around it will be thorough enough for us to know those who did youth service and those who did not.
And those who did. Yes. All right. We have to leave here now. And we also hope that one way or the other, maybe new persons are coming on board that require, you know, fresh screening. Otherwise, if it's people before, their documents are with the DSS.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Danekere, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. And CKN, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Chris
much.
Ndengwandu, thank you very much. And we wish you well on your trip today to the United States later this evening.